dismay as they begin making their way up to the car. When they finally get close enough, he rolls down the passenger side window and whispers, "What happened? Where's Mitchell?" "Shut up," one of them says. "Where is he? Did you leave him in there?" "Will you shut up and open the trunk?" Norris starts to, but he's distracted by what they're carrying. It appears to be a short man wearing a blue sweater and khakis, but his hands and feet are tightly bound, and a burlap sack has been pulled down over his face. Yet despite all this, the man is speaking very, very quickly, almost chanting. "Cannot succeed, will not succeed. Such a vain hope that I personally cannot imagine. Do you understand? I cannot imagine it. You do not have the authorities, the privileges, and without those, this is but sand brushing over my neck. Do you understand? No more than reeds dancing in violent waters." "Open the fucking trunk already," says one of the men. Norris, startled, reaches over and pulls the trunk lever. The trunk pops open, and the two drag the hooded man back, stuff him in, and slam it shut. Then they scramble back around and jump in the back seat. "Where's Mitchell?" asks Norris again. "What happened to him?" "Fucking drive," shouts one of the men. Norris glances at the house again. There is movement in all the windows now. Could those be dark figures pacing back and forth in the halls? Pale faces peeping out the windows? And some of the front lights are on, ones Norris could have sworn were dark just a second ago. He tears his eyes away, puts the car in first, and guns it. They rip through the neighborhood lanes until they reach the main roads. The two men remove their ski masks. Zimmerman is older and bald, with a graying beard, his cheeks bulging with the promise of pendulous jowls in later life. Out of the three of them, he's by far the most experienced in this kind of thing, so it's extra unnerving to see how obviously terrified he is. The other, D, is an athletic young man with blonde, perfectly parted hair, the sort of hair found only in Boy Scout advertisements. D either doesn't understand what's going on or is so dazed by everything that he can hardly shut his mouth. "Jesus," says Zimmerman. "Jesus fucking Christ." "What happened?" asks Norris again. "Where's Mitchell? Is he all right?" No, Mitchell isn't all right." "Well, what happened?" There's a long silence. Then D says, "He fell." "He what? He fell? Fell into what?" The two are quiet again. Zimmerman says, "There was a room, and it just seemed to keep going, and Mitchell fell in." "And when he fell," says D, "he just didn't stop. He just kept falling into the room." "What do you mean?" asks Norris. "What makes you think we understand what we saw in there?" asks Zimmerman angrily. Norris turns back to the road, abashed. He points the car north toward the dark mesa that hangs over the town. Sometimes there is a thud or a shout from the trunk behind them. They all try to ignore it. "He knew we were coming," says D. "Shut up," says Zimmerman. "That's why he prepared those rooms for us," says D. "He knew. Bolin said it'd be a surprise. How could he have known?" "Shut up." "Why?" asks D. "Because I'm willing to bet that thing in the trunk can hear us." "So?" "So what if this doesn't go right? What if he gets away? You just gave him one name. What more do you want to give him?" There's a heavy silence. Norris asks, "How about some music?" "Good idea," says Zimmerman. Norris hits the tuner. Immediately, Buddy Holly begins crooning "That'll Be the Day" from the car's blown-out speakers, and they all fall silent. As they climb the mountain road, they leave the town behind. The grid of streetlights shrinks until it is a spider web beaded with morning dew stretched across the feet of the mesa. The town sits in the center of a dark fan of vegetation running down the mountain slopes, fed by the little river that winds through the center of the city. It's the only dependable source of water for miles around the mesa, a rarity in this part of New Mexico. A painted sign swims up out of the darkness ahead, marking the northern border of the town. It has a row of white lights at the bottom, making it glow in the night. It shows a smiling man and woman sitting on a picnic blanket. They are a wholesome, white-bread sort. He square-jawed and squinty, she pale and delicate, with cherry-red lips.